We all know College Football 26 Road to Glory is bare bones to say the least. I mean, you only get 5 different positions to pick from. That's it. 5. No D-end, no safety, no tight end, no kicker or punter if I want to. That all ends today because in this video, I'm telling you guys about the story of John Hands, a 6'8", 260-pound tight end that out of high school wanted to go to the NBA, but because of a tragic accident to his older brother, he decided to pick up a football and try to go pro. The first person we have to talk about in this story is actually not John Hands. It's his older brother, Billy, who was a star quarterback coming out of high school in Florida with multiple offers to SEC schools to play quarterback. As a star quarterback in high school, Billy had the world at his feet, but for some reason, one day he decided to go out with his friends and have a street race, and he had a terrible accident which cut his career as a football player short. After such a terrible tragedy, Billy's little brother John decided he's not going to try to play basketball and go to the NBA. Instead, he's going to try to play football and make the NFL for his older brother. But because he never played organized football growing up, not many schools gave him offers. Luckily, Oregon State saw the potential and gave him one. And he really only got that offer because of his measurables. He's 6'8", 260 pounds. His freshman season, he redshirted, and then his redshirt freshman season, he didn't play a lick of football. With 2 years of D1 coaching and development, and of course, having his older brother in his corner, John Hands is ready to set the college football world on fire. That is going to be a tall task playing on an Oregon State team that had 0 conference wins in the Pac-12 last year, going 2-10, and sporting one of the worst rosters in all of college football. John Hands' success is all reliant on the quarterback. Brian Fowler, with a rocket arm, can throw him the ball anywhere on the field. He's not that accurate, his IQ's okay, and he's a transfer from Wyoming last year, so I hope that he can even improve with John Hands catching the football for him. John is so ready for his first ever start in D1 college football, going up against the Fresno State Bulldogs, and they have 2 good linebackers in Jerome Granger and Nolan Emery. These guys look like demons. Nolan Emery in his first game had 11 tackles and Jerome Granger with 1 sack. Now it's time for John Hands in his first ever start in college football to show everybody that he does have the talent. Wearing his older brother's number in his honor, he is nervous, but he is ready. On John's first ever play in college football, he immediately shows how physical he can be in the run game, springing Cedric Ryan for a first down run. He also is able to make his first ever catch on this drive as well, but it wasn't all so easy for John Hands. On this play, he looks like he's out in space to block. He tries to pick somebody up, but instead runs right into his teammate. First down for the Beavers now, and Brian Fowler shows off that arm strength with a great throw to Johnny. 4th and inches in the red zone. Coach goes play action. Johnny gets it in space. Can he rumble for his first touchdown? That first touchdown will have to wait. Being the team player he is, on the next play, Johnny does a great job blocking to get them in for a touchdown, and the Beavers take the lead 7-0. Fresno has to punt, giving the Beavers the ball right back, and Johnny Hands is catching bodies in the run game, but it's 3rd and 11. Someone's got to get open, and what a throw from Brian Fowler. I have to glaze a little bit. This was with pressure in his face. He gets the ball to his best receiver for a first down. What a throw. Maybe I glazed just a bit too early because Brian Fowler on the very next play throws a ham sandwich into double coverage. I'm wondering if I should be worried. Fresno thankfully did nothing with the interception, and look at what Coach draws up, an end around to get Johnny in space to block. Great blocking on this drive from Johnny, but even better hands. He goes above the rim to get the first. The OC then dials up a great reverse call, and Johnny's in space to block, and he just completely misses his man. 4th and 2, the Beavers are going for it, trying to go up 2 scores in this game, and it looked like Johnny had the block, but they didn't get it either way. They called a block in the back, and the fans weren't happy with Johnny. Did they realize we didn't get it either way? Thankfully, Fresno is so terrible, they turned the ball right over. Brian Fowler tried to turn it right back over to them, throwing glizzy after glizzy, and this one was into double coverage. I don't know what he was thinking. I know you're trying to give Johnny a chance, but damn. I don't know what we're going to do if it's 7-0 against Fresno late in the 3rd, and we're going for it again and getting snuffed again against the Mountain West team. Luckily, the defense has been on point, but the offense can't get anything going. A -6 loss on that screen, and the following play, I have literally no idea what Brian Fowler is doing here. I don't even know what to call that throw. That is a nuke in the worst way possible. Bombs away, the ball's going the other way. Luckily, Fresno State only turned that interception into 3 points. We need to make something happen fast. Somebody needed to make a play on offense to help the Beavers pull away, and John Hands does just that, catching a ball over the middle, and nobody's catching him, using that athleticism to get to the end zone, dunking on the goalpost, and Beaver Nation is going crazy. Fresno State answers with a field goal. It's 14-6. Someone needs to make another play to really put this game away. John Hands does just that, showing off that speed. It is so unfair he's that fast at 6'8", 260. What a beast. And to top it all off, he shows that physicality in the run game to grind out the clock. Oregon State did a great job in the second half, winning this game 24-6. If they can clean up the turnovers, this team could be a problem in the Pac-12, with John Hands going for 13 catches, 259 yards, and 2 touchdowns. What a first ever game in D1 college football for John Hands. I know his brother was in the stands, proud as hell of him. While that was a good debut, Oregon State's defense played lights out, making sure DeMarcus Davis was not comfortable at all. Another player not comfortable was Brian Fowler with 3 interceptions. Hopefully the chemistry between John Hands and Brian Fowler can grow throughout the season, but it needs to grow quickly with a big matchup against Oregon, our bitter rivals, coming up after this bye. It's important we win. It might be important, but it feels impossible with Oregon legitimately being 30 overall better than our team. With Oregon having the superior roster, the only way Oregon State pulls off this upset at home is by playing as a team together, and they're trying to do that in the bye week, practicing hard through the trials and tribulations, and going through the run game as well, of course. It is finally game day, and after all the practice and preparation, Johnny Hands is so excited to get his first start in this rivalry game against the Oregon Ducks. But he does not have any easy matchups in this game. They have safeties at linebacker in this defense, and they have blazing speed everywhere. Naeem Alford is a nickel corner that's an All-American. They have Aaron Flowers at strong safety. All these guys can run fast, so it will be hard to separate. And they are going on 3-0 to start the season. Oh, did I mention having to block 6'6", 250-pound lineman Chris Swan in the run game? That debut was sweet, but John Hands has a true test today going up against the Oregon Ducks, the Oregon State Beavers, bitter rival, and the last 4 meetings have gone to Oregon, so it's time for Oregon State to make a statement today. After all the practice and preparation, this is where we put the product on the field and execute a nice run on 2nd and 7. After that, we go play action on 1st and 10, but Oregon has a great defense and knocks the ball out. Oregon has a suffocating defense on 3rd and 6. We try to convert. It's almost intercepted. We must be aggressive in this game against such a good team. We're able to convert on 4th and 6. And after that, we go play action. Johnny Hands needs to work on blocking in the back. He keeps doing it. And the fans are not going to like it very much every time we negate a positive play with a penalty. So you got to fix that, Johnny. Johnny says, I'll fix something for you. Absolutely routes up their best corner, TJ Green, in space, and then makes him look stupid trying to tackle him. Rumbles down to the end zone for the touchdown to give Oregon State a 7-0 lead early in this game. Benny the Beaver is going nuts with an air guitar. This man, John Hands, might just save this program single-handedly. Brian Fowler's doing a good job in this game of getting him the football, and he is just doing the rest. Just better above the rim. After the touchdown, Oregon gets the ball back, goes for it on 4th and inches, can't get it. We get the ball back, and we can't convert a 3rd down. We have to punt. Oregon ties the game at half, and now the fans are very nervous, biting their nails. It's a tie game here at Oregon State, and no one knows what's going to happen. This defense, minus 1 big play, has been great for Oregon. Oregon gets the ball out of half and immediately scores a touchdown, going up 14-7. On our next drive, Johnny Hands does a great job of getting open, but not just getting open, running away from the defense, for a ton of yards, rumbling inside the 15, down at the 14-yard line. What a run. After that amazing run, it's 3rd and 10, and Johnny Hands starts in pass protection, releases late, but it's a great tackle by Oregon's defense, and we have to only kick 3. After settling for 3, Oregon State's defense does a great job getting us the ball back. Johnny Hands trying to catch bodies in the run game. It only equates to 2 yards. On 3rd and 8, we have to get this. Great downfield blocking by Johnny Hands. It's getting late in this game, only about 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Johnny with a nice 4-yard catch on 1st down. On 2nd and 6, Brian Fowler just misses him for a 1st down catch. It's now 3rd down and we need a first, but he's just 1 yard short. Johnny remembers how hard they worked on practicing in the run game earlier this week, and they do just that on 4th down and convert. The 2-minute warning hits, and it's now 3rd and 3. We need to convert again, but we don't just convert in the run game. We get a ton of yards, and now Oregon should be calling timeouts. They're getting clocked, but they decide not to. In my opinion, that's coaching malpractice. 10 seconds to go, Oregon State calls a timeout. The fans are so nervous on 3rd and goal. It all comes down to this, and Cedric Ryan finds his way into the end zone. He only averaged 3.2 yards per carry in this game, but when he needed to, he made plays. Oregon State is going crazy. With only 4 seconds left, Oregon's quarterback has to just throw up a prayer and hope for the best. It gets knocked down, and that means Oregon State has pulled off the upset over the number 13th ranked Oregon Ducks, 17-14. What a performance, getting their first win in 4 years in this rivalry. John Hands with 14 catches, 157 yards, and 1 touchdown. Is this the start of a special season for the Oregon State Beavers and Johnny Hands? This might just be a special team because shout out to that defense. Taylor Sanders, who's a 90 overall, had 0 touchdown passes, and they've allowed no touchdown passes all year. Brian Fowler also had a great game, a bounce-back game to say the least. At least that's what you think until maybe you look a little further into the stats and see no really big plays from the defense. Did Oregon just shoot themselves in the foot? We'll have to find out. We play New Mexico next and then go on the road against Arizona State. The Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week, of course, was Johnny Hands. We'll see how New Mexico plays. It was a splattering in New Mexico with Johnny Hands having his best run block of the season on the first drive to spring Cedric Ryan for a touchdown, and it just looked like all day he was the more dominant player. Their secondary couldn't run with him, the linebackers couldn't catch him, the safeties couldn't tackle him. He was a mismatch for everyone in New Mexico's secondary, and I just wanted to show you this highlight of Brian Fowler throwing a ball that I cannot believe he was even able to get to us. He is an interesting player because he throws some picks that make no sense, but then throws absolute ropes down the field to get Johnny Hands the ball basically anywhere. So let me know in the comments what you think of Brian Fowler. And that leads to this final 35-7. Finally, our defense gave up 1 passing touchdown, only gave up 7 points all game. They could be a big reason we could be successful this year. And also, of course, Johnny Hands with 11 catches, 213 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Good for another Pac-12 Player of the Week. But now we have to go on the road against Arizona State, who has a pretty damn good team, especially on offense. They're 2-2, though, losing to a ranked Florida and also Utah on the road. The players they have on defense are not nearly as explosive as Oregon's. Checking out the Pac-12 early on in the season, you can actually see that statistically, Oregon State is the worst offense in the conference. I think that's a little unfair, but I'm wondering how much work is the defense actually putting in? And the answer is a lot. If you look on paper, Oregon State's defense is second in points per game in the Pac-12. I'm wondering if that's an early season fluke. This is a great opportunity to find out against an Arizona State team on the road at night that is way better on paper, but Brian Fowler is playing lights out lately. It is a perfect night on the road in the Pac-12 for these Oregon State Beavers to make a statement to the college football world that they mean business against Arizona State. We all know Arizona State is a party school, so this place should be rocking tonight. It's going to be a tough test for these Beavers and a great matchup of 2 good tight ends. Arizona State has a great one also. Already so hard to hear on this first drive. Finally, the ball gets snapped, and John Hands gets the ball in space, and the ASU corner saves a touchdown with a tackle. Great tackle on that play. The very next play, Brian Fowler throws an absolute ham sandwich. After all the glazing I've been doing of late, this is how he does me, and this one's going a long way, all the way down to the 12. ASU wastes no time to punch it in for 7 and take the lead early in this game. On the next drive for the Oregon State Beavers, a nice throw from Brian Fowler. Maybe he's righting the ship. We look good in the run game with Cedric Ryan toting the rock with authority. And on the next run play, it looks like he might go in for 7, but there's a flag. What could that be? Oh no, not again. It's Johnny Hands with a block in the back. A costly penalty making us settle for 3. ASU responds with a field goal of their own. On the next drive, it looks like Brian Fowler has completely locked in after the early pick, dotting up players left and right, not just Johnny Hands, spreading the ball around like a true point guard. The run game has started to get going. It looks like this team had a good week of practice with a nice third down catch from Johnny Hands, and then down the seam to end the half, Johnny Hands in the end zone for a touchdown to tie this game up. He's dunking on the goalpost again. Big second half coming up. Luckily, out of half, the Beavers get the ball first, and on this 3rd and 1, we're able to power through for a first. And Brian Fowler, after that early pick, looks locked in. He is dotting up for first down after first down. This one was a laser, and that's 1,000 yards on the season for Brian Fowler. Play action at midfield, and Johnny is wide open, but Brian can't make the throw because of pressure. Brian might not be fast, but he does have heart, and he's able to get a first down on this QB run, leading to a now 3rd and 8 where someone's got to make a play. Johnny on an out route catches it, runs past the DB, jukes upfield, and powers through the safety for a touchdown. The ASU fans cannot believe what they're watching. They're watching a monster. But a field goal and a missed extra point leads to a 16-13 lead. Only a 3-point lead. Johnny with a great catch up the seam, and now it's 3rd and 2. We have to get this first down. We're able to. Now into the 4th quarter. It's 2nd and 10. Play action. Brian Fowler has him open, and he makes the throw. Even in double coverage, Brian's going to give Johnny a chance, and I do not blame him. A nice run on 3rd and 1 gets us another first down. It's 1st and 10. Only 4 minutes left in the game. Brian gets smoked on that play thanks to Johnny's terrible pass protecting. But it's 2nd and inches, and we're trying our best to get this first. Trying again on the run. Finally getting through, and Cedric Ryan gets into the end zone for the touchdown, and we take a big lead. But can we hold on? Tough to hold on when ASU immediately scores. Now the Beavers back on offense. Pressure's on. 3rd and 8. And Brian Fowler throws up a ham sandwich that is thankfully knocked away. ASU does respond with a field goal. Now it's a tie game, and Oregon State is going for a money drive. Johnny does a great job of making multiple catches to possibly put Oregon State in field goal range to kick a game winner. Coach almost blew it trying to help the freshman kicker that already missed an extra point get a couple more yards. Luckily, we call a timeout with 1 second left. All the pressure on this freshman kicker at Arizona State at night. Can he get it done? And he drills it. Center cut for the W. I hope this win at ASU shows the college football world that this team means business, and Johnny Hands is here to stay. I'm not gonna lie, I knew John Hands would be good at 6'8", 260 with a basketball background, but in his first year starting in collegiate football D1, he's already leading the league in receptions and receiving yards, and he's leading the Pac-12 in all stats in receiving. That is just incredible. And looky here, Mr. Ham Sandwich Man himself, leading the Pac-12 in completion percentage. It's pretty nice when you get to throw to a 6'8", 260 tight end all the time. The Pac is fully back, baby. It looks like 3 different teams are in conference undefeated so far this season, UCLA and USC. USC is number 6 in the country, and we play them on the road later in the season. But right now, we got to worry about Washington, whose only loss is against USC, and we play them on the road. Washington, of course, is no slouch, ranked number 19th in the country. We're going on the road in their building. It's going to be a tough environment to play in. Not only that, they have absolute blazers all over the secondary. Great corners, great linebackers, great safeties. Reminds me a lot of Oregon's secondary as well. It might be tough to separate. If we win this game, are we finally going to get national recognition? Because right now, Johnny Hands isn't even looking like a Heisman favorite. How is that possible with what he's doing in his first year starting in D1 college football? It seems unfair. On his way to the diner to get a bite to eat and see his brother and really just get some advice from Billy. Billy knows exactly what Johnny's going through right now with all the fame, because everyone on campus knows his name after this month of football and what he's doing. He's telling them, do not listen. Just keep your head down and keep working, and you know Johnny's listening to that advice. With that advice from his older brother still in his mind, Johnny has to go on the road to play the number 19th ranked Washington Huskies, and we know this is going to be a tough game. Their quarterback has been insane lately, throwing 5 touchdowns in the last game he played, and this crowd looks ready to see a win, but we are not letting that happen. Oregon State starts with the ball in this game, and they are trying to establish the run, but it is tough. They do get a first down on a run, stall out to 3rd and 10, and deep downfield Brian Fowler goes, and it is knocked away, and we have to punt early. But also, Washington has to punt. We get the ball right back, and like I said before, this defense has been putting in work. Johnny Hands tries to help him out with a nice run after catch, and again, he gets out in space, and this time he spins away from a defender, jukes again, powers through more defenders. A nice run after catch, and now the ball is at the Washington 31, and coach calls a screen pass which goes for negative yards, leading to 3rd and long. Someone's got to make a play here, but instead, Brian Fowler is sacked. The left tackle gets absolutely destroyed on this play. After the punt, Washington scores first, going up 7-0. Now the Beavers are trying to respond on the following drive. Johnny Hands getting open for a couple first down catches, and it looks like Brian Fowler is locked in, dotting in over the middle and on the sidelines. Really, right now, this team needs to keep the ball and get points on this drive, and they do just that with a nice out route and a catch from Johnny Hands. The run game has not been good enough early on, but you know what has been good enough? The passing game. It looks like everything's bagged on this play, but Brian Fowler throws a corner route, and no way, it is a touchdown. I couldn't believe it myself. All the way to the end zone, and this game is tied out of nowhere. This was an absolute dot from Brian Fowler, no doubt about it, but shout out to Cedric Ryan, the running back, stepping up and making sure the blitzer could not bring pressure in the pocket, allowing Brian Fowler to actually get the ball off, and because of that, we are tied, and Washington was not able to score any points. We could even get more points and double up before half and take the lead. Johnny Hands with a couple good catches, but there is a flag, and it is on the Beavers. It's a holding penalty. It's coming back, and it doesn't look like we're going to get points until Johnny Hands with a deep over and a nice throw and a nice catch for a first and maybe a chance at a field goal. Now the freshman kicker has to come on and give us the lead before the half. Is he able to do it? No, it is wide left. Remember when I said that defense is putting in work? Out of half, Washington goes for it on 4th and 1 and cannot get it. We get the ball back, and we're trying to move the ball downfield. Brian Fowler on a post route gets it. It's a completion, but a flag. What could that be again? Johnny, what are you doing, dude? Stop blocking in the back. A costly penalty from Johnny that negates another huge gain in the offense, but they are able to get a first down and move the chains on 2nd and 5. Off play action. It looks like Johnny's open, but Brian Fowler cannot get him the ball with pressure in his face. 3rd and 5 now. Need to make something happen. Johnny, double coverage, try to get him the ball, and he did have a chance at it. Now Washington with it. They go for it. And again, the Beavers defense on 4th down gets a stop, giving the Beavers offense a chance in a tie game late in the 4th quarter to win this one. Johnny Hands was open there, but on 3rd down he's open again, and Brian Fowler doesn't miss him with an absolute dot to move the chains. This time, another dot from Brian Fowler. He's locked in on the money drive. Every time we need him to make a play this year, he has. It's now 1st and goal. The Beavers are going power offense with a run. 3 yards for Cedric Ryan on that one. Another run on 2nd down, and it looks like there was space, but he's stuffed on the 5-yard line. It's 3rd and goal, and he's open. Johnny Hands catches it, but he's at the 1. It's 4th and goal. What are they going to do? The Beavers are going for it, and it looks like he's stuffed, but Cedric Ryan powers through for the touchdown, and the Beavers take the lead in Husky Stadium. Washington gets the ball back, throws an interception, and now we're right back in the red zone trying to take those timeouts away, running the ball, and it looks like we're just going to kick 3. just to make sure we're up 10 late in this game, and that should put the Huskies away. With no timeouts, the Huskies are in desperation on 4th down. The pass is knocked away. Victory formation for the Beavers, and they win this one 17-7 against the Huskies, and they stay undefeated, beating another ranked team, this time on the road in the Pac-12, and this is a big win. Brian Fowler went off today, 200 yards, a touchdown, and almost 70% completion percentage. You're talking about a dog playing at quarterback for the Beavers. This is a team that could maybe go somewhere. What a win on the road against a ranked conference opponent. Those are the type of wins you got to hang your hat on. Not only that, Brian Fowler has been balling out at Oregon State, playing a lot better than he did at Wyoming, and he's only getting better week in and week out. He's getting Johnny the ball even if he throws a ham sandwich from time to time. And Johnny has been so good this year, so dominant in his first ever year playing D1 college football, but at the same time, he's getting no recognition in the Heisman race. How is that possible with a player this dominant, 6'8", 260, and he has the Beavers undefeated? Put him on the ballot now. It just doesn't make sense. Another thing that makes no sense is how is Oregon State not even ranked, just getting votes so far? I feel pretty bad for this FCS school that we have to play next. It was a great opportunity against the Cupcake to win big and show everybody that Oregon State should be ranked, and the boys did just that. Look at Johnny with the power and the speed all the way to the end zone with a Heisman highlight, in my opinion. 56-0 is the final, and Brian Fowler broke records for Oregon State, throwing 7 touchdowns in this game, 400-plus yards, and only 1 pick. Just an amazing performance from QB1. Brian Fowler has upped his completion percentage from 49% at Wyoming to 70% at Oregon State, and has a 9.7 yards per attempt to a 5.9 at Wyoming. He is just a better quarterback here at Oregon State, and that might be because of John Hands. After playing a Cupcake FCS school, Air Force at home was on the schedule, and some people might be thinking this is another Cupcake. It is not when you play a triple option offense. The game was going to be close, we knew that, but a couple catches from Johnny Hands getting into the end zone is all we needed to win this game 21-7, and we're keeping this undefeated season rolling. Johnny Hands was the player of the game with 10 catches, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns, an absolute beast. The boys decided after these great W's to go out, shoot some pool together, and get some beers, and honestly, I didn't know Brian Fowler was such a damn pool shark. After some great team bonding, now it's time for the toughest part of the schedule. At UCLA and at USC is next, and both of these teams are sporting some of the best offenses in the country, but they are going up against the best defense in the nation. Yes, I said that right. The Oregon State Beavers have the best defense in the nation, and we will find out how true that is soon enough when they go up against the powerhouse offense in UCLA on the road. UCLA's schedule looks a little light, but that win at Oregon is no joke. That is a tough place to win, so you have to give them respect for that. And their secondary has a lot of speed in it. They have players that are to be respected, and I'm going to have to see how Johnny Hands responds to this matchup on the road. Also, when you look at their edge rushers, Calvin Cisco is 298 at 6'3". He should be in the D tackle spot, but instead, Johnny's going to have to block him. These next 2 games against Pac-12 opponents that are both undefeated and ranked are legacy-defining games for Johnny. If he is able to pull off huge wins and huge performances, there is no doubt that he will win the Heisman Trophy. He is finally on the ballot late in the season. The voters are finally starting to turn their heads, and how could they not? Johnny knows if he wants to do something special in this ranked matchup, he's got to put his head down and go to work, and that's what him and the boys did this week at practice. Having a great week of practice, Johnny really worked on not trying to block in the back to negate a huge play like he's done in multiple games this season. I'm really hoping he's fixed that, but I guess we won't find out till Saturday. Game day at the Rose Bowl against a ranked UCLA team that's 15th in the country. No better time to show the college football world that this team is for real than right now. Johnny Hands is on the Heisman ballot. He needs to put up a big performance. This is the time to do it in a top 25 ranked matchup. The game starts, they are already down 7-0, and it doesn't look good for the offense with an early drop and the run game getting stuffed. It's already 3rd and 12, and just like that, we are punting with a missed throw to Johnny Hands. And I'm not even joking, right after that, a 50-yard touchdown from UCLA. We are down 14-0 out of nowhere. The Bruins defense is going crazy. That was a big hit on Johnny's first catch, and this play is intercepted. Brian Fowler throws a pick. I'm not sure if this is supposed to go to Johnny or the backup tight end. Either way, it's a turnover for the Beavers, and the Bruins score on that possession. You just blinked, and the Beavers are down 21-0. I don't know what it is about Oregon teams going to the Rose Bowl and getting blown out, but if Johnny wants to turn this game around, he's got to make some plays fast. A couple good first down catches to get the Beavers driving, and he might be open again, but Brian Fowler is shook. His hands are trembling. This is not looking good. Luckily, the defense bails us out, and it's still only 21-0 in the second quarter. Almost a 2-minute warning. Johnny Hands with a nice catch there, and he's got one-on-one coverage, but Brian Fowler is seeing ghost. He checks it down for a -5 loss instead of giving his 6'8 tight end a chance. That throw was basically a drive killer. It's 3rd and 19. Johnny looks open, and he just sails him. I don't know what's going on with Brian Fowler, but it's led to a 28-0 score in the third quarter. This game is basically over. He's still throwing into traffic. If this Brian Fowler shows up against USC, we are going to be in trouble. We need to fix this fast. You do have to give credit to the Bruins defense that is going absolutely buck wild right now. Look at how many blue jerseys are rallying to the football. It is a scary sight over the middle for Johnny Hands. He's trying to figure something out though and get in the end zone. Finally, Brian Fowler dots somebody up for a touchdown. At least we get on the board. It's about time. It's 28-7, and maybe I'm thinking we could get back in this. Why not? Another good run from Cedric Ryan. But oh no, we were talking about it in practice. Not again, Johnny. Why? Why now? You can't sell the bag now. But at least the dynamic lighting has the stadium looking nice. Johnny Hands, look at how these safeties are hitting. I mean, I cannot believe how the Bruins came out to play today. It was a tough game all day for the Beavers. 28-7 in the fourth quarter, and Johnny finally gets in the end zone for a touchdown. And we're thinking, maybe it's still alive. Maybe there's life. But no, the Bruins score a field goal and basically clock us for the end of the game. And as a finisher, Brian Fowler throws another pick, and the Bruins win 31-14. This was a crushing defeat on the road. Hopefully we can bounce back against USC next week. There is no moral victories in a loss like this. You can't go on the road in a big matchup and get blown out. The boys go right back to work in practice, trying to figure something out for this huge matchup against USC on the road. USC is undefeated, a top 5 team with a top 3 offense in the country, as well as a top 3 defense. But who is that there? That is also the Oregon State Beavers defense, top 2 in the country, thanks to Jimmy Walker, the DC, doing wonders as a coach. He's got that defense playing above their talent level, in my opinion, and that has led to us having an opportunity, if we stay undefeated, to maybe make the conference championship. But Brian Fowler has to lock in and have a better performance than he did against UCLA. That was a pitiful effort, and I think we have bigger aspirations than the Las Vegas Bowl. But if we want to do anything bigger than that, we have to win this next game. It is kind of funny to look at the rankings and see that after a loss, we actually went up. Maybe all those jokes about quality losses are actually true. Looking at this USC defense, you realize very quickly why they are top 3. They are top 3 in interceptions, and they have a secondary that can do everything. A slot corner that has 99 speed, 99 acceleration, 99 agility, and Marcellus Williams, have a great safety in Alex Quiero, and they also have a great edge rusher that I've never seen before. Elijah Newby has 93 speed and 97 acceleration. This is going to be a tough matchup for the Heisman favorite, Johnny Hands. That's right, he's a Heisman favorite now. Can he hold on to that with a great performance? USC's quarterback that transferred in from BYU, Bear Bachmeier, is also on the Heisman ballot, so this game is huge for the Heisman race as well. So let's get it underway. A top 5 team in USC at home going up against the Oregon State Beavers, who are 24th in the country in the rankings, but they just lost to UCLA last week, and that loss is still stinging. A great chance to bounce back here, but Bear Bachmeier puts USC up early with a rushing touchdown, and now already Brian Fowler is throwing into traffic, has me worried. It's 2nd and 10. He tries to throw a screen, gets absolutely smoked. It's 3rd and 10 now, a deep over for Johnny Hands, and he really wants this Heisman, powering through 2 defensive backs. No one can tackle him, no one can catch him. He's down all the way inside the red zone, and after that he had to take a breather, and Brian Fowler does a great job finding a receiver for a touchdown. USC gets a field goal to put them back up 3, and now it's already late into the second quarter. We're trying to score before half. Johnny Hands with a couple good 3rd down catches to keep the drive alive, and now on 1st and 10, it's important we keep the ball moving, and Johnny Hands is coming through. I know the Heisman voters have to be watching this game. This is a huge performance so far. A nice route over the middle. Brian Fowler gets us inside the red zone, and the clock is ticking. Johnny Hands with another great catch to get them in a spot where they could score, but Brian Fowler throws a terrible pick. Another ham sandwich from Fowler. Luckily, the Beavers get the ball at a half, but Brian Fowler with these ham sandwiches in huge games is going to cost us. Johnny Hands will not be denied, though, breaking multiple tackles. He looks like a more dominant player than anyone else on the field. It's just that simple. He looks like a top 10 pick in the NFL, if we're just being frank. And this looks like another ham sandwich from Brian Fowler, but thankfully knocked away, and we had the punt on that one. USC is able to get another field goal, and now it's 13-7. Johnny, a monster after the catch, gets the 1st down on that grab. On 2nd and 4, Brian Fowler has really nowhere to go with the ball, takes the sack, and it's 3rd and 14 now, the biggest down of this game so far. Johnny up the seam, no one's going to catch him. He rumbles all the way to the end zone to tie this game at 13, and Beaver Nation, all the fans that traveled, are going crazy. But Bear Bachmeier said, "Hold my Heisman," with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. The Trojans are back up 21-14, and we knew it was time to lean on Cedric Ryan. I've talked about him before. He doesn't always make big plays, but when you call his number in a big spot, he balls out. Look at him fighting for yards, and look at how the offensive line and Johnny Hands are blocking. But also, Brian Fowler tried to give the game away. Luckily, USC drops the football, allowing Cedric Ryan to keep fighting for more yards, and we keep running the ball downfield all the way inside to the 25. Sticking to the run game, finally USC makes a play and stuffs us, leading to a 3rd and 9 where Johnny routes up his man in a gotta-have-it situation. That is Heisman-like in my opinion. Another huge catch on 2nd and 8 to get them inside the 1. I thought he might be in here. Now it's time to go power football. 1st and goal. Who do you think we're going to? Cedric Ryan's number is called, but he is stuffed. On 2nd and goal, we go right back to it, and I thought for sure he was getting in here, but he's stuffed again. 3rd and goal now. We need to get in with 5 seconds left. Can Cedric Ryan finally power through? He gets in with ease, and with an extra point, we are going to OT. I cannot believe how great this game has been. We get the ball first in overtime, trying to go right back to running the football. Stuffed on the first play. It's now 2nd and 11, trying to go again with the run. This time a jet sweep, and I'm thinking he has space, but he only gets a couple. 3rd and 9, gotta have it here. Tie game in overtime. Somebody's gotta make a play. Johnny motions out. They blitz off the slot corner, and Johnny is wide open for a 1st down catch. It's 1st and goal, and it's time to call Cedric Ryan's number. He looks like he might rumble into the end zone, but he stopped at the 2. We go right back to the run, and he is in to take the lead in overtime. I cannot believe how resilient these Beavers are. Johnny and the boys have the fans stunned at USC right now, but Bear Bachmeier gets the ball with a chance to help his team win and help his case in the Heisman race. With the running back coming out of the backfield, he finds the 1st down, and on 1st and goal, he finds his wide receiver at the pylon for a touchdown, and just like that, this game is tied. On to double overtime where USC has the ball, and on a 2nd and 11 run, they go all the way to the end zone for a touchdown to take the lead. Now needing a 2-point conversion in double overtime, they run it again. This time they're stuffed. That means on this drive, all Oregon State needs is a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to beat number 5 USC on the road, who is undefeated. But that's going to be hard to do when the first 2 plays are incomplete, leading to a 3rd and 10. On 3rd and 10, it looks like someone's open underneath, but it is dropped, leading to a crucial 4th down for the game. Johnny Hands on a deep over. He is open. He catches it, powers through for the 1st down. The safeties could not tackle him. What a play on 4th down. You got to call that a Heisman moment, in my opinion. Cedric Ryan leads the Beavers down to the 2-yard line, and now at the 2-yard line, they try to power through with a run. Stuffed. It's 3rd and goal. Can Cedric Ryan finally get in for the touchdown? He fights through for 6. I can't believe how tough he is in short yardage. Now for the 2-pointer. This is for the win. Johnny Hands into the end zone, and just like that, the Beavers have beat USC on the road, a number 5 team that is undefeated. This is a win that Johnny Hands and this program will remember for a long time, and that performance by Johnny Hands might have just secured him the Heisman Trophy. What a win. A program-defining W and a Heisman performance for Johnny Hands. I hope that is enough to win him the trophy. Now we're on to play Stanford at home, and Stanford is 4-5, but they did put up a fight until the 4th quarter when Cedric Ryan put it away with a nice rushing touchdown to end the game. 27-21 is your final, and it is so important to end this season with all W's if we want to win the conference championship. We won't even make it if we lose one more game, and these games are against weaker opponents, so it would be an upset if we did lose, but we are taking care of business so far against Stanford and against Arizona, even though late into the game they like to make the score a lot closer than it truly was. This final was 31-24 when it was all said and done. A great game from Brian Fowler against Arizona, and now it's time to play Washington State at home on Senior Day. If we win this game, we are going to the conference championship, and it wasn't even close. Oregon State's defense has balled out all year, and this was basically a cherry on top of the season with a shutout. 31-0 was the final score, and your Beavers are going on to the Pac-12 championship. Johnny's brother Billy is overwhelmed with emotion watching this season unfold. To end the season, Johnny broke record after record, including the national single-season receiving yards record. That's a pretty big one to break. It's time to see who will become Pac-12 champion. If Johnny can win this game and have one more good performance, that Heisman Trophy is coming home with him. But it's going to be a tough matchup. We know how good UCLA is this year. They've been undefeated all year long, and it's time to see if we can finally do something against them, because their defense was flying all over the football last time we played them. Hopefully this time around the score will be a little bit different, but we're about to find out in the Pac-12 championship game who will become champion, the undefeated Bruins or the Beavers with one loss on the season coming to UCLA earlier in the year. The Beavers get the ball first, and they're trying to establish the run on this first drive. A nice 1st down run from Cedric Ryan leads to Johnny Hands on an out route with a nice 9-yard catch, and it's looking like it's going to be a nice drive, but they stall out quickly. It's already 4th and 2, and they need to convert to keep this drive alive. Everyone knows if the Beavers want to win this game, they got to be aggressive, and on 4th down they convert. But on 3rd and 8, they aren't able to, leading to a field goal try for 3, and it's 3-0. The Bruins immediately have to punt, but they are looking good on defense, stuffing the run, leading to a 3rd and 9, where Johnny will not be denied. He wants that Heisman, and he wants the Pac-12 championship. It's 1st and 10. Another run from Cedric Ryan, stuffed. Leads to the Beavers having a 3rd and 11 at their own 18. Johnny up the seam, and somehow Brian Fowler finds him. The DBs cannot bring him down, and he's off to the races, rumbling down to the end zone for a touchdown. Talk about a Heisman moment from Johnny Hands right there. Brian Fowler did a great job putting the ball right on him here on 3rd down, and Johnny does the rest. Look how small that DB number 11 is. He's not tackling 6'8" Johnny Hands, no way. But UCLA responds with a touchdown. It's now 10-7. We got to keep scoring, keep the foot on the gas. Right there, UCLA stuffs us, and on an over route, Johnny again will not be denied. Another 1st down on a 3rd down, and 4th and 3, we're going for it again. Who else but the Heisman favorite, Johnny Hands? He is cooking all game long. He will not be denied. Cedric Ryan with a nice bounce for a nice run for a 1st down. Johnny is doing just about everything to make sure this trophy comes home with the Beavers. On 1st and 10, on an over route, he's wide open, but Brian Fowler misses him. He has to take a breather, and on that breather, there was PI leading to 1st and goal, and Cedric Ryan punches it right in to make it 17-7, and this pass protection from Johnny Hands was abysmal, leading to Brian Fowler getting smoked by Calvin Cisco. He's 298, by the way. Not great. We had to punt on that drive, but again, the Beavers defense does what it needs to do. We get the ball right back, and this time Fowler is cooking with a nice post, going for a lot of yards. This one was a dot, I can't lie. Brian Fowler looks locked in this game compared to the last time we played UCLA. Getting late into the 3rd quarter, Johnny knows if they can score on this drive, they probably win the game. It'll be 24-7 going into the 4th. That's going to be hard to come back from. 3rd and 9, somebody's got to make a play. Johnny motions out, and he is open, tackled at the sticks, but will not be denied and gets down to the 1. I'm talking about an absolute monster here. I know all the scouts are watching this. He is a top 10 pick in the NFL. There is no doubt about it. 1st and goal, the Beavers are able to punch it in the end zone, and this score was too much to bear for the Bruins. Victory formation, and you won't believe it, but the Beavers are champions of the Pac-12. With a roster like this, Johnny and the coaching staff and Brian Fowler, everyone, it was really a team effort to get this W. The Oregon State Beavers have never won a Pac-12 championship. They've won the Pac-10, but never the Pac-12 until now, and Johnny Hands and the boys will be off to the college football playoff to try to make a run. What a remarkable season from Johnny and the boys. One the Beavers fans won't soon forget, a Pac-12 championship and a team that played out of its mind all season. Thanks to a coaching staff who coached out of their mind all season, leading to Jackson Anderson, the head coach, getting the Bear Bryant Award. And I've already talked about Jimmy Walker and the work he did with this defense. He deserves the Broyles. But let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, and all the trophies he brought home, including the John Mackey Award for the best tight end in the country, and of course, the Heisman Trophy. The first tight end to win the Heisman Trophy since 1949, and Johnny and the boys will have to play USC again at home in the college football playoff. USC is coming off a loss to Notre Dame in a rivalry game. Can we take advantage of that? The bracket looks pretty tough, I'm not going to lie, but Brian Fowler and the boys have gone off this year. 33 touchdowns for Brian Fowler, 12 rushing for Cedric Ryan on the ground, and if you look at receiving, well, Johnny stole a lot of that, because how could you not throw to a 6'8", 260-pound tight end? Either way, the team balled out offensively all year long, but so did the defense. We're not going to forget them and what they did. They might not have put up gaudy stats, but they definitely put in the work to be one of the best defenses in the country. USC also has a great team with a great rusher in Carson Cox, 13 touchdowns, 1,200 rushing yards. The receivers are actually very solid, and their defense is so good at getting takeaways. The first matchup went all the way to overtime, actually to double overtime, so hopefully the Beavers are able to pull this one out, but it's going to be a tough matchup. Luckily, the Beavers play at home in this game. In the college football playoff, their first ever college football playoff appearance, you can see the patches on their jerseys. They look so damn sweet. It's time to see if this team can make a run in the playoffs and maybe win a national championship. It's going to be tough. They're underdogs in basically every game, but the defense makes USC punt, and on the first play from scrimmage, for the Beavers, it's a huge run from Cedric Ryan. Now the Beavers are at midfield, but they're stuffed in the run game, and this looks like a nice play that coach draws up. Johnny Hands blocking in for protection, and there is an open receiver. Brian Fowler just never sees him and throws it way too late. Is he on today? I mean, he doesn't look that locked in. It's 4th and 3. The boys have to go for it, and who else are you going to but Johnny Hands? They're able to convert a 3rd and 6 here. They need another first down, and Johnny Hands makes a catch. But look at how USC rallies to the football. 4th and inches. You got to get this one. Great blocking up front for the first down, and now we're backed up on 2nd and 14. It looks like Johnny's opened up the seam, but Brian Fowler sails the throw. It's a ham sandwich. USC with the pick, and they get a touchdown on that possession. It's now 7-0 late in the second quarter, almost the end of the first half, and it's already 3rd and 10. The Beavers have to do something here, and the USC defense is not letting us. We have to punt. But luckily, the Beavers defense comes through, and now Oregon State's offense has a chance to maybe get points before the half, but this USC defense is flying all around the field. This was a great throw from Brian Fowler in between zones to get a first down, but it all comes down to a Hail Mary in the end zone to end the half, and it is knocked away to make it a 7-0 game going into the second half. Luckily, the Beavers do start with the ball, trying to establish the run, getting stuff. This USC defense is all over the field, and here it's man-to-man, but the USC player runs into the ball, and it's a pick because of it. They put up another 7, and out of nowhere, it's 14-0. Brian Fowler has thrown his fair share of ham sandwiches, but that was not one of them. That was just a bit unlucky, I'll be honest. This drag route is wide open, and look at how the safety tackles Johnny Hands. This USC defense was locked in. I mean, Johnny is 6'8", 260. He's not easy to bring down. The players are dropping the ball. Brian Fowler's not locked in. It just doesn't look like the Beavers' day, but it is 1st and goal, and if we can punch this in, it's a possibility that we can come back, and Johnny Hands, the Heisman winner, gets in the end zone for a touchdown and cuts this lead in half. After that touchdown from Johnny, I'm thinking we have life, but USC's offense immediately scores a touchdown of their own, and now it's 21-7. We need 7 on this drive, but Brian Fowler is throwing ducks on every throw. It kind of reminded me how inconsistent he really is as a thrower. He has a great arm, but terrible accuracy, and now it's 4th and 8. The boys have to get this to keep this game alive, and they don't get it. It's another touchdown from USC, and this game was essentially over. Johnny with a late touchdown in garbage time, but really it never mattered. I will say though, this team with the talent it had exceeded expectations by far and had a great season, and there's nothing to hang your head on when USC beat you in this game, because honestly, they were the better team, but Johnny and the boys did have an incredible season. John Hands might not be a national champion to end the season, but he has a lot to hang his hat on, including being a first-team All-American. That is a prestigious honor, and he has this program having the first ever 12-win season in its history at 12-2 and finishing 8th in the rankings. That's pretty solid considering Brian Fowler threw 17 interceptions this year. That's 17 ham sandwiches with extra cheese and mustard. I mean, what are you going to do when you have a quarterback that limited? Either way, the offense still played amazing, and Johnny had a great season. A historic season to say the least. Johnny shattered the record books with this season at tight end. And not only that, you can look at all the accomplishments here, and I'll list the records that he broke as well. I mean, it's crazy. Brandon Cooks is basically the best receiver in Oregon State history, and he blew all of his numbers out of the water. Harold Fannin is the best tight end in modern college football history. In my opinion, it's him or Brock Bowers, and he broke all of their records, of course, too. This video was a ton of fun to make, and I really do appreciate everybody watching. If you watched till the end, definitely subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. I'm always open to new ideas for videos like this. This is my first time trying this format, so if you like this type of format, definitely let me know in the comments. Give me ideas. We can bring Johnny back to school, or we could bring him to the NFL. You let me know. It's really all about what you guys want to see on the channel. So thank you guys again. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.